Hey Beyond the Gates. Fans, it's Radhika from Radhika Storyline, and we're going to talk about Beyond the Gates. But first, please hit subscribe if you're not already following us. So today on Beyond the Gates, this Wednesday's episode is jam-packed with intrigue, and I mean jam-packed, for storylines stomping through each other, none of them waiting for the others to clear out of the room, the kind of hour that asks you to set your drink down and pay attention. So let me walk you through what we are getting, because there is a lot on the menu. First up, Hayley Hamilton is sitting down with Randy Parker, and she brings up Lynette Wise, yes, her, the woman who went MIA months ago and left more questions than answers in her wake. Hayley looks Randy square in the eye and tells him he dodged a bullet with Lynette, and we are supposed to believe that Hayley is somehow responsible for this? Look, the writers are dropping heavy hints on this one, because Hayley saying thanks to her, let me say it again, thanks to her, is a very specific kind of phrasing, that's not casual, that's somebody taking credit for something, even if the credit is wrapped in denial, even if she shrugs it off after she says it. And Randy, sweet Randy, the guy who cares deeply about Doug McBride and his entire family, has to sit there and process the idea that maybe the mother of Doug's kids was the problem, and that Hayley, whoever Hayley is to him, fixed the problem for him. I mean, good luck processing that over dinner, Randy. Good luck. And that raises the obvious question on this side of town, where exactly is Lynette Wise? Months, people, she has been MIA for months, and the show is finally giving us a crumb, and the crumb is that Hayley apparently has some hand in the disappearance. Now I am not saying Hayley did anything nefarious, I'm not making that accusation, but I am saying the writers are dangling this in front of us like a carrot and saying, figure it out, and I love it and I hate it and I am obsessed all at once. There is no confirmation in Wednesday's spoilers about how or where Lynette disappeared to, but the phrasing Hayley uses makes it sound like she had a hand in it, and that is a loose end that is going to keep fans up at night, I promise you that. Now hop over to the Dupree household, because Danny Dupree, Maya's mom, Naomi's aunt, Anita's daughter, all-around legend of this show, has gone to her mother Anita with a request, and Anita does what a lot of powerful women in this town do when their kids ask them for something, which is shut it down. Anita refuses. And the request, we are told, was kind of a noble one. Danny wanted Anita to advise Naomi Hawthorne against a double mastectomy, and Anita, quietly, gently, in her way, said no. Because Anita believes it's Naomi's body, it's Naomi's choice, and all Anita wants to do is be there for her granddaughter through this hard time. Now, on the surface, you would think this is a beautiful, dignified stance, and it is. A grandmother refusing to push her granddaughter in either direction, choosing presence over pressure. That's lovely. But it is also tone-deaf, because Danny asked for backing, and Anita basically said, I'm not going to help you with that fight, which means Danny is going into that conversation with Naomi essentially alone. And that is a disaster for Danny if Naomi makes the choice Danny doesn't want her to make, because now Danny can't even say Mom agreed with me, she just has to eat it, and that is going to eat at her. Oh, you can already see it on the actress's face, can you not? You can already see Danny carrying that no around like a brick. Now Naomi's storyline, and this is the one that has me really sitting up in my chair. Naomi finally gets around to telling her dad, Bill Hamilton, about her BRCA gene results. Which means Naomi has known about these results for a while, because she did not just learn them this morning. This is a result she has been sitting on, processing, possibly researching, possibly spiraling about. Only now is she bringing it to Bill. And Bill, we are told, is going to surprise Naomi with his reaction. Surprise, that's the word the spoilers use. Now what does surprise mean here? Surprise as in soft and supportive? Surprise as in angry that she kept it from him? Surprise as in ready to throw money at the best doctors in 3 states? Or surprise as in deeply, visibly upset, the kind of upset where a father feels like he has failed his daughter because he didn't know she was walking around with a ticking time bomb in her chest? Honestly, I could see any of those, and we will find out Wednesday. But the fact that the show is playing up the surprise angle, like, that is the headline in the spoilers, Naomi expected one reaction and got another, tells me whatever Bill does, it is going to be the scene of the week. The scene they replay in the promos for the next 4 episodes. I am betting on that one already, mark my words. Now over in the Dupree side of the family again, Nicole Dupree and Shanice Johnson are sitting down for a very open, very grown-up conversation about one man, Ted Richardson. Ted and Shanice have been carrying on with each other, and they recently told each other they are falling in love. So now you have at least one woman, Nicole, who has to look Shanice in the eye and talk about the man they are both presumably still pursuing, in some capacity or another. The spoilers say it starts awkwardly, and I am sure it does, because how could it not, but the writers are framing it as interesting, which means there is going to be some kind of reveal, some kind of shift, possibly that these women are more aligned than they thought, possibly that they are about to become enemies, possibly that the alignment is a trap. Oh, we will see, we will see. And then the last big loop, and this is the one I am personally most interested in, is Deanna McBride. Deanna is going to meet a handsome stranger who needs her help, and the question this show is dangling in front of us is this a new romance for Deanna? Like, a real one where Doug's daughter finally gets a love interest that isn't somebody's brother and isn't trouble? Or, the alternative, which the spoilers are floating, is Joey Armstrong trying to keep tabs on Deanna, because Deanna is on Joey's radar, Joey is suspicious of the McBrides, Joey wants eyes on Doug's daughter. Joey went to Randy for that job, and Randy's loyalty to the McBrides made that a non-starter. So Joey might be going outside the family to get it done, possibly hires a handsome stranger to do it, possibly tries to plant him in Deanna's life as something that looks like a love interest but is actually a honey trap. And if Deanna falls for it, that is the worst 2 months of her life in living memory, I will tell you that now. Now I will say this. Joey Armstrong has been sniffing around this family for way too long, and his motives are shady at best, sincere at worst, and unclear on a good day. Joey asked Randy to set up surveillance on Deanna, or at least some kind of oversight of Deanna, and Randy, bless him, cares about Doug and the McBride kids too much to be Joey's little spy. So Randy passed. Refused. Rebuffed. Whatever you want to call it. So Joey might be going outside the family to get it done. And the show is using the handsome stranger, and that is the phrase in the spoilers, handsome stranger, to either spark a romance or plant a mole, and that is genuinely compelling storytelling, because either way, Deanna is at a decision point, and decision points are where shows either live or die, and Beyond the Gates has been living off its decision points all year, alright. Now let me get to the meat of what could plausibly happen, because there are about 5 different directions this episode could go, and I want to walk through each one. First up, Hayley and Lynette. I suspect this is the most loaded bomb on the whole show right now, because Lynette has been missing for months and Hayley is now openly telling somebody, Randy, on camera, that Randy dodged a bullet because of Hayley. Now, thanks to her, that is not something you say unless you did something, or unless you took credit for something you did not do. So my guess is Hayley had a hand in Lynette going MIA, quietly, maybe not nefariously, maybe just firm, maybe a push out of town, maybe a formal arrangement where Lynette agreed to a fresh start somewhere far from the McBride boys, and now Hayley is trying to cash in that chip with Randy. Or, and this is the wild version, Hayley is bluffing, Hayley is taking credit for a disappearance that she didn't actually cause, and is going to ride that bluff until it collapses. I wonder if that's where this is going. I wonder if we are headed toward a moment where Randy goes looking for proof of what Hayley did, and either finds it, or finds out she lied, and either way, that's a fork in the road for these two. I'm betting this storyline is going to take the rest of the summer to play out. It's not a stretch to imagine Lynette popping back up in late August, maybe in a flashback, maybe in a phone call, maybe in a police report, and when she does, Hayley's claim is going to be tested in real time, and that is when the audience finds out whether Hayley is a saint, a scoundrel, or somewhere in between. Honestly, fandom is split. I can already see the comment sections. Fans are going to war over this one before the credits roll on Wednesday. Next, I want to talk about Naomi and Bill. Now Naomi telling Bill about her BRCA results, after holding them for who knows how long, is the kind of news that splits a father into 2 halves, the half that wants to fix it, and the half that wants to grieve the secret. My guess is Bill is going to land somewhere unexpected, because the spoilers are playing up the surprise angle for a reason, and the easy answer is Bill is upset she didn't tell him, and we might get some of that, but the easy answer is rarely the right one in this town. I suspect Bill's surprise reaction is going to be tender, not angry, and if that is the case, it is going to take the audience off guard in a really good way, like, you brace yourself for the yelling and you get the gentle voice instead, and you sit there and your eyes water because that is how this show works on you. It does not care about your emotional boundaries at all. I could see Bill quietly stepping up to be Naomi's medical advocate, going with her to appointments, getting second opinions, taking it seriously in the way that only a father who has stared down his own mortality can. Or, and this is the dark version, Bill goes berserk, projects his fear onto Naomi, tries to control the next steps, calls every doctor in a 3-county radius without asking her, the reign of terror dad thing, and then Naomi has to learn to fight him off while also fighting for her own body. I'm betting on the tender version, but I am not ruling out the latter, because Bill Hamilton has always had a temper on him, and grief makes that temper louder, not quieter, and we have seen this man at full volume before. Another possibility, Anita's refusal. Now, Danny came to Anita with a request, and Anita said no. Danny is going to carry that no into her next conversation with Naomi, and that next conversation is going to go one of two ways. Either Danny accepts Naomi's choice and becomes a real support system for her niece, which would be a beautiful character arc for Danny, Danny learning to let go of the control she has held on to for so many years, Danny choosing presence over persuasion. Or Danny doubles down, tries to find another way to fight the double mastectomy decision, possibly goes around Anita, possibly tries to enlist somebody else in the family, possibly goes so far as to try to undermine Anita's stance without Anita knowing. I suspect the second one is more interesting dramatically, but the first one is more true to Danny at her best, the Danny we have all fallen in love with since the show started. My guess is the writers are going to let Danny stay on the fence for a bit. They are not going to drop her into either camp right away, they are going to let her squirm, because squirming is good TV, and squirming is honest, and squirming is exactly what real people do when they disagree with the people they love about life or death decisions. And here is another thing I want to throw out there, the Nicole and Shanice conversation about Ted. Now my guess is this is going to play out quieter than a lot of the other storylines, but it is going to carry weight. Because the show is specifically framing the dialogue as open and grown-up and interesting. I suspect what is going to come out of it is not a fight, I really don't. I suspect what is going to come out of it is a moment where these two women, Nicole and Shanice, both of whom could very easily become enemies over Ted, recognize that they are more alike than they are different, and they end the conversation not fighting over a man but agreeing on something bigger, possibly about Ted himself, possibly about something else entirely that the show is going to use as setup for a future storyline. I could see Shanice being the one who surprises Nicole in this scene. I could see Shanice being the more honest of the two. I'm betting we get a soft scene and a sharper pivot, where the soft scene is the dialogue and the sharper pivot is what comes out of it, and we will see what that sharper thing actually is when the credits roll. And last but not least, Deanna's handsome stranger. Now this is the one that could go either way, love interest, or honey trap, and honestly, the symmetry is beautiful, because Deanna does not need a man right now, Deanna does not need another complication right now, Deanna does not need Joey Armstrong's puppet walking into her life pretending to be a romantic option. But she would take one if she meets a handsome stranger who needs her help, because that is how lonely single moms work, that is the math of it, that is the cold arithmetic of affection when you've been carrying the kids alone. I suspect the show is going to zigzag this one. I suspect we are going to meet the stranger, be charmed by him, get invested in his story, and then somewhere around episode 3 or 4 this week, we are going to get a hint, a phone call, a gloved hand, a name on a birth certificate, something, anything, that suggests this man has a connection to Joey. And that connection is going to hit Deanna like a freight train if she finds it, and if she does not find it on her own, somebody is going to tell her, somebody who knows her, somebody who has her back. You can almost feel that scene coming, can't you? You can almost see it forming on the horizon. I wonder if Deanna recognizes the stranger from somewhere. That would be delicious, that would be cruel, that would be exactly the kind of thing this show does to its daughters, drops a familiar stranger into their lives without warning. And if Deanna does not recognize him, I suspect her instincts will pick up on something, the way instincts do, the way a mother in a soap opera always has some radar in her chest she cannot turn off. I'm betting on this stranger being a Joey plant, because Joey is too persistent to give up, because Joey tried Randy first and Randy said no, because Joey's interest in the McBrides is not casual, and because the writers set this up too neatly for it to be a coincidence. Plus, a real romance for Deanna right now would be lovely, but it would not be dramatic, and this show does not give us drama-free Wednesday hours. It does not. It has not. It will not. So I'm betting Honey Trap, with the door open for a real love interest to walk through later. We'll see which door opens faster, and at this point, I have lost sleep over less. Before I close out, I do want to take 1 second to put the spotlight on where I think this whole episode is going to land emotionally, which is on Deanna's living room, with that stranger sitting across from her, asking for help, and the audience not knowing whether to root for the romance or to brace for the betrayal. That's the trap the show is setting, that's the trap I am falling into, that is the trap I assume you are falling into if you are listening to me right now. Let me know what you think when the episode drops, hit me up in the comments, tell me if you think Deanna is in danger, tell me if you think Hayley is guilty, tell me if you think Bill is going to make you cry, tell me everything, because I want to be wrong about at least one of these so I can come back next week and tell you about it. Here's my verdict, and I'm not hedging any further. Deanna's handsome stranger is a Joey Armstrong honey trap, Naomi's BRCA conversation with Bill is going to wreck that room, and Hayley's claim about Lynette is going to bite her before the summer is out. We'll see. Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Rodica is on all the major podcast platforms including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.